Whiskey, and this is our prototype presentation for Team Whiskey's criminal records database. This is a very simple but effective program that does exactly what it seeks out to do without overcomplicating the user with a lot of extra menus that aren't necessary. And this is going to be a presentation about how and what they can do. This is our main menu. This is going to be the method that we're going to be seeing by default every single time we open the app, assuming that we're not signed in automatically. So we can obviously sign in and create an account, and create an account works exactly as how it should be, where we're given an email address and a username and a password that we can actually go back in and input to sign into our specific account. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at our search cases. Our database will allow the user to search for cases via different parameters, anything from case time to a case identification number, to other ways that you might want to sort cases by. If we wanted to search for a case name, however, we could definitely do that. We could go ahead and search homicide, and it'll go ahead and give us some cases in our database that contain the word homicide in our system. And then we can go ahead and click on one of them and we can see the case information. The first half at the top is very nice. It just gives us the basic information about our case with the name, description, address, date, and time. And the bottom half of our case provides us with tabs so we can view even detailed list of the topics that we have to present for our case. So victims of this homicide is just a single one. It's Randy Orville with the status of deceased, and if we click on a person in this list, we can indeed see additional information about the person, anything ranging from their gender to age and race, all the way to the status of their living. Witnesses works exactly the same way. It operates as a list of the witnesses, and we can click on one of them to see even more information about a witness. Same could be said about a suspect. And finally, we have some evidence, where we can take a look at the pieces of evidence that were found at the scene of a crime or outside, with the name and the description of the item found. So now that we've gone over about how to search and view cases, let's go ahead and sign in. We're just going to assume the role of a detective. Our detective would be Detective Gumshoe, so we can log in with their username and their password. And when we sign in, we're greeted with a welcome back, Detective Gumshoe, just a nice touch to help the user feel a little bit more personalized and embedded into the system when they use our application. You can see right out of the gate that we have a couple new functions, a sign out button and an enter new case button, and we can go ahead and do that because we're an administrator of the database. We can input a name, we can call that robbery, and we are going to be doing exactly that when we input our information to the system. We also can input the location, of course, as well as a date. And the time of the crime occurred at 11:20 p.m. Okay. So we click next. We can see the case information that we have here. Right, we have a robbery, our description, the address, date, and time. We can also input one by one and start adding additional information needed to our case. So just to go through one of these things, we can see that we can have the name of our victim, their height, their race, their age, and their status. We want to do the same thing with witnesses. Just run through just to show that how this would work in the different fields you would have to input to put in for a witness. You would need their height, their race, their age, a phone number, and their statement. Once we have added all the necessary information of the victims, witnesses, suspects, and evidence, we're free to go ahead and click done. I went ahead and added in a suspect and evidence into our system just to speed things up. And now we click done, and we can see that our case has been successfully added. The name of our robbery, location, and it was added with the case identification number. And this is really nice and important because this is actually what we can use to search up cases by ID. So we'll go back to the menu. We can go ahead and search for cases, and we're going to go ahead and search for the case with our ID of 1120. And we can automatically see that it already found and auto-filled some of the suggestions based on the identification number. This is the one we wanted. It's 1120. It's our robbery home, just like we named. So when we click it, we can see exactly the same stuff that we saw in our first example about our case information. Just the different fields are changed to be what we expect them to be based on what we put in when we first made the case. We can definitely view some of the things like the witnesses we added. Here we go with Moriel. We can view information about them as well. Same thing with victims, right? And that's the victim that we expect to see because we added it in. The suspect is the one I added in off of the recording, but this is basically how it would work. So I hope that this application can be proven useful to you, and I thank you so much for your time stepping through this prototype with me.